Hello you guys, welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy world. Now this is going to be a video on the legend and icon Wendy Williams. Now as a lot of us know, Wendy has been under this conservatorship for the better part of 3 years. She has a conservator by the name of Sabrina. I'm forgetting her last name at this moment. It is very unclear to me how this Sabrina became Wendy's conservator. However, she's been put in a place where she has control over Wendy's well-being, who she sees, and allegedly also her bank account. Wendy has spoke out today on The Breakfast Club. They released their show at 7 this morning, and there were so many people on watching because, of course, everybody has wanted to know how Wendy Williams is, because the last thing we heard was that she was incapacitated and overcome by dementia, and that it sounded like in a very bad place where she didn't know what was going on. That's what incapacitated means to us. But then around the end of last year, we saw videos of Wendy interacting with her son, Kevin, going to his graduation, speaking, talking to him, giving him gifts, and she seemed completely in her right mind. So it brought up a lot of questions as to what the hell is actually going on with Wendy Williams, because when you hear dementia and you hear incapacitated, you think the worst. But then seeing her in the flesh and on video, she seems perfectly fine and like she would be able to care for herself. Why would she need a conservator? I don't even know if she has dementia. I mean, from watching this video, her interview this morning, I didn't feel like she had dementia. I do know from speaking to other people and hearing them talk on it that dementia comes in waves. So at one moment you could be completely clear, and then another moment you can be confused. But within this 30 to 37 minute interview, Wendy was clear, and she wanted to make a point of making it known that the audience and the Breakfast Club host understood what she was saying. That was very important. She kept saying, you know what I mean? Like, she wanted to make herself clear. She wanted to make sure she was being understood. So with her speaking out and doing this interview, we learned a lot. And I'm just so glad that her niece, Alex, was able to be on the line as well while Wendy was giving her interview with the Breakfast Club. And I think it was very sweet that Charlemagne had Wendy on his show, because they were a duo back in the day. So he is helping out his mentor, getting this information out, because really they want attention on this. Just like what happened with Britney Spears, Free Britney, and all the attention that was on that movement and how now she is free. That is what Wendy wants as well. She wants to be able to live out the remainder of her life in a way in which she chooses and not be in this luxury prison that they're calling it. They get into how she has absolutely no control to even leave her own room. Insane. So it starts off with her and Alex talking about how she's in this luxury prison. She's in this home with other people who have issues. She didn't really go into what issues they have, but they have issues. So I'm thinking it's some type of assisted living, nursing home type of place. Because she says that the only visitors that she can really get are these nursemaids that come around with pills that they want to give her. Pills that she doesn't even know what they do. There's like 7 pills. Imagine a doctor coming to you while you're locked up in this room, having you take pills that you have no clue what they're going to do to you, and who prescribed them to be given to you. That's crazy. I'm sure if Wendy were to take them, she would be all types of loopy and really not in her right mind. See, the shit that they do. And this conservator, Sabrina, is awful. She is awful, and I'm so happy that all this attention is going to be on her specifically. Maybe it will get her to act right. Maybe it will get her to give conservatorship leadership over to someone like her niece, Alex, who seems to be very close to Wendy. I don't get this. So they're giving her these pills. She's in a room where she has a TV, she has a bed, the basics, right? But she doesn't have an iPad, she doesn't have a laptop, she has a TV, she has a phone that she can't even like get on social media and scroll with. She can call out to people, but apparently people can't call into her. So if someone were to need to get to her in an emergency, something happens, something goes down, they can't even get to call her. And this Sabrina chick, who's the conservator, is not a good in-between person. They could reach out to her saying, hey, we need to get to Wendy, and she can pick and choose who she's going to allow Wendy to see, if at all. And then further to note that Wendy, this makes me so upset because I have a cat too. Wendy had twin cats. And apparently this conservator had her cats taken to some place where they've been over a year. And then she told Wendy yesterday that the cats are like no longer there. Like she can't have her cats anymore. And she told Wendy that she may or may not be able to go to her own father's 94th birthday next month. She said she'll have to see about that. Who the F are you, Sabrina, to be seeing about anything? Wendy is in her right mind. May she need some assistance getting around and doing day-to-day shit? Maybe so. But she's in her right mind. She knows what the hell is going on very clearly, and it pisses me off that this random woman can go and tell somebody what they're going to do with their life and money. Further to that, the staff, the level of security, which is why they're calling it a prison, the staff has to allow Wendy out of her room and onto an elevator so that she can even get down to the lobby or leave this facility at all. Imagine being locked in your room for 7 days a week, every day. You don't got no social media. You can't talk to your people the way you want to talk to. You got TV, but you don't have a cell phone, like a smartphone. I'm sure she has some type of, cricket phone they give you. But it's insane. So if she wants to go somewhere, I guess she has to buzz down or call down for somebody to get her. She can't just simply walk out of her room on her own free will if she wanted to. That is prison, and nobody deserves that. Wendy didn't do anything. This takes away so much dignity. Yes, was she a gossiper? Did she have her own TV show? Yes, but she's not a prisoner. She didn't do no criminal crimes. Why is she being locked up like Diddy can't leave her dang on cell? You might as well call it. However nice it may be, it's still a prison. If you cannot leave on your own free will and there are locks and shit that are barring you inside. Alex, her niece, says she went to go see her in October, I believe it was, and she was shocked by the questions that she was getting asked. Like, who are you? What is your purpose of being here? Da 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 da. Motherfuckers, that's Wendy's niece. Who the hell are you? And apparently, the Breakfast Club, because Charlamagne and Wendy have been talking back and forth for the better part of like 2 weeks. So the Breakfast Club sent out one of their hosts out to go speak and talk to Wendy. And she's on the phone, this girl's on the phone with Wendy as she's arriving. And at first, it seems that they're going to let her in. They see Wendy in the system. They're having her sign in. Then they go to call Sabrina, this conservator. Fuck Sabrina. Like, she's going to get her karma. They call Sabrina and then everything changes. They start saying, Wendy isn't here. Who are you? What? Wendy is on the phone telling these people, I know her. You know that I'm here. She had just signed in and they had looked Wendy up in the system. But now y'all are saying, oh, there's nobody by the name of Wendy here and you can't see her. And Wendy is telling them on the phone that she wants to speak to this lady that the Breakfast Club has sent. And they are refusing. Are you fucking kidding me? How is that allowed? How is that allowed? And then speaking about these medicines and stuff that they were trying to give her, 7+ pills that she didn't even know what they are, what they do. They were doing that same shit to Brittany to the point where I honestly feel it fucked up her mental and her brain, because when you start taking shit that you don't need, it has to have an adverse effect, especially if you're taking it for a prolonged period of time. So yes, Britney Spears is free now, but we can all say that, things are just a little off. But I truly do think that it's because of all the shit that they were giving her that she did not need. And they were trying to do the same thing to Wendy, and Charlamagne was telling Wendy, do not take those pills. So I hope that she is not. Because who knows what the hell those pills would do. That those pills would have her laid up in that bed like freaking drooling, and she don't even know what planet she's on, I'm sure. And that's the way they want her to be, which is why they put out the story that she was incapacitated, because that's probably what those pills were supposed to do to her. 7 pills? 7? You know, it's a sad situation because just how life is. Wendy probably has less years in front of her than behind her. And for simple things like this guardian, if you want to call her that, Sabrina, not allowing Wendy to spend her birthdays the way she wants to spend them, her niece Alex wanted to visit her and the visit was denied in July. Sorry, as you could hear, I had a work call. But for the past 3 years, Wendy has been spending her birthday alone because Sabrina, this guardian, will not allow her to spend it the way that she wants with her loved ones, going out, getting some good food, because we know Wendy likes to eat. It's terrible. It is terrible. It is guardianship abuse. It is mental abuse. As Wendy has called it, mental emotional abuse. They brought up, has Wendy seen that documentary? The documentary that Lifetime did that was just, which really sparked all of this because Wendy was not in a good way, which I think probably has to do with how she was drinking. They did show that she liked to drink on that documentary, but she got a little upset when they brought it up and pretty much said she doesn't want to watch it again until she's in a better place, and she just really can't talk about much because she's still in this legal battle. But she doesn't want to watch it again, and she did get kind of, it seemed, upset when talking about that because it just did not show Wendy as the Wendy that we knew. And if any family member, I would never want to see my mother or anybody I love near and dear be put out in that light to the public when clearly they're struggling. It was just so wrong. And apparently the conservator, the guardian, Sabrina, had a lot to do with putting this together and having this documentary put out. And of course, I'm sure they got a nice check from Lifetime. And who has control over Wendy's checkbook right now in her accounts? Sabrina. It's trash. It is so trash. So Wendy is having to be careful with some of the things that she says, but they did kind of make it clear as well, because I think it was DJ Envy who asked, who the hell is putting out all these rumors that you have dementia and you're incapacitated and all this? And Wendy and her niece Alex said that it's Sabrina, allegedly. Sabrina wants people to think that Wendy is gone off the deep end, whether it's dementia or drinking or whatever, and she's not in her right mind, wanting her to just fade away from the spotlight for us all to forget about Wendy, which is not going to happen, and that she could sit and spend Wendy's bag in her account. Because I know Wendy is set. I know Wendy's got some money. And I hope there's some type of financial investigation when all of this gets settled. If this woman, Sabrina, has been siphoning off of Wendy's money and living on her money to take trips and do this and do all, this woman's going to get her karma. You don't do this to somebody, finagle them out of their money, put them up in some facility, lock them away, and give them pills. It's evil. That shit is evil. It's criminal for somebody to imprison a person who has done nothing criminal. Like, she's somewhere against her will. This lady, Sabrina, is stopping her from having guests, illegal, has sold her cats up from underneath her, has made it so that she does not have interaction with the world and what's happening. She has to get news from other people, really. That's illegal. That sounds illegal to me. So, Just Hilarious asked Wendy and Alex, what is it that we can do in this situation? What do you want done given this situation? And they want us to make as much noise as possible. There's a hashtag Free Wendy. They want this story to get out there. Similar, very similar to Britney. And with the noise and with all the involvement and people talking about it, potentially it could stop this foolishness with Sabrina, this supposed guardian, for taking advantage of Wendy. She only had, like, I just can't believe this can happen to somebody. Like, I still am not understanding how this woman Sabrina has gotten under all this control. It's not making sense to me. I'm going to do what I can do from my part, which is put this story out, let people know what's been going on with Wendy. This is what they want. They want us to use the hashtags. They want us to share the interview. They want us to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do. And this is just such a sad situation. Another shocking statement that Wendy said in her interview was that she only had $15 currently. Obviously, she has a lot more in her account, but her account's in prison along with her. She has $15. In today's economy, that's a dang old meal at McDonald's. That's nothing. What the hell are you going to do with $15? That used to fill up a tank back in the day. That does nothing now. So I'm so happy that the Breakfast Club is bringing this to the forefront. I'm so happy to have heard Wendy speak in her right mind and tell what's going on with her and let the world know that she is indeed in prison and she is being treated unfairly and that this woman Sabrina is doing it to her. The goal for Wendy and her niece is to be out of this conservatorship completely. She wants to be in Miami. She wants to be with her son. She wants to live out the rest of her life the way that she wants to live it. And that's a basic human right. It's so upsetting how this happened to her. And I just couldn't imagine being in a similar situation. I'd literally be losing my mind. Hearing Wendy get upset, talking about her dad and all the things she wants to do for his birthday, and she's crying. She's very clearly upset. She was crying on the line with Charlemagne. It's just so upsetting that this is being allowed to happen. And Charlemagne also asked, hey, do you think, because she's done this interview and she's on the line with us, do you think there's going to be retaliation? Because, mind you, she wasn't allowing Wendy to spend her birthdays the way she wanted. It's up in the air about Wendy going to her father's 94th birthday next month. She has sold Wendy's cats up from under her. It is very possible that there will be some retaliation due to this. And Wendy's niece Alex said yes. We spoke about that possibility. It is very possible that Wendy will be retaliated against by Sabrina Morrissey is her last name. That she will retaliate. Is that not illegal? This woman is a criminal to me. The response is pretty much from Wendy that she has to do this. She has got to do this. Like, what else is there for her to just sit in this room locked up and just to take it and be like that for the rest of her life? Her niece was saying there's a potential that this woman, Sabrina, will take Wendy's phone. That's her only source of contact with the outside world. So then she's sitting in this room with simply just a TV and 4 fucking walls in which she cannot get out of on her own free will. That might as well be a solitary fucking confinement. Are they letting her outside at least 1 hour goddamn day? Are they even doing that? Is she getting proper sunlight? Disgusting. Sabrina should be ashamed of herself, and I'm so glad that this interview was done because I don't know how Sabrina is going to be able to show her face out in public for the people who actually know her and how she looks like. How are you going to show your face after everybody knows what you've been doing to Wendy? Treating her like a prisoner. Worse than. There are probably prisoners that have more than $15 on their books right now. Could even move Wendy to a whole new facility and her family wouldn't know where she is. They could take her phone, move her to a whole new place, similar to what was happening when the documentary came out. Her family did not know where Wendy was. So they were trying to get in contact with her, couldn't. So that's why her niece was on different talk shows trying to get the word out because they had no clue where Wendy was. And they're seeing this documentary of the state that Wendy was in, which was not good. And they're like, what the fuck? This is a horrific situation that is still ongoing. Wendy can still, right now, be being retaliated against due to her putting out this interview this morning at 7 a.m. This woman could come in if she wants, take Wendy's cell phone, take her to some other location, and not let anybody know a damn thing. That's terrifying. And nobody deserves that. People like to say when it comes to Wendy, oh, she's getting her karma because she talks shit about other people. Well, you know what? She talked a lot of shit, and a lot of shit was probably true. She was talking about Diddy for years before everything, broke out about that. And look, it ended up to be true. He's currently sitting in jail. And speaking of Diddy, to close this, I just wanted to share Wendy's thoughts on what is going on with Diddy, because mind you, she was at the forefront of Diddy and his foolishness. If you've seen the clip where Diddy was on her show and they were on the couch, and Diddy had said to her, oh yeah, I met your son backstage, and it spooked Wendy so bad, like she lost her train of thought and everything. The look on her face, it was just so apparent, and it seemed slightly like a threat. But Wendy's been talking about Diddy for ages, and we've all wanted to know what Wendy's thoughts were when it comes to Diddy being in jail. Well, here's what she has to say.
Wendy, you got fired from Hot 97 years ago because of Diddy. All these years later to see where Diddy currently is. What do you feel about that situation?
Right. Diddy will go to prison for life, people. You don't know things that I knew about Diddy back in the day, and you want to know what? It's about time, people. It is about time. Diddy done.
She still got it.
Diddy done, doo-dah day.
How you doing?
See, she still got it.
Wendy.
Oh my God.
The queen has spoken. There you have it.
That's right. This is just the first step of many.